This is the Business Owners IT Podcast with Anthony Gerasch and Ryan Carter, where tomorrow's technology meets today's conversations.
Hi, I'm Tony Gerasch.
And I'm Ryan Carter, and this is the Business Owners IT Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss tips, tricks, and solutions for business owners involving all things tech.
Well, we're back, Tony, and we're going to go back into kind of a news of the week type deal. So, we do it very often, but let's talk about email compromise, and let's bring back an oldie but a goodie, but with a twist. So, Tony, you want to take us through some type of email bombing that's going on?
Yeah, so this last week, we've been made aware that there's a Black Basta ransomware attack that's happening, and what I'll do is I'll let you describe exactly what's happening, but in short, they're sending out emails that says they're from a help desk. So go ahead, Ryan, take it over. Tell them how to identify this.
It's 100% a classic email bomb. So you get someone's email address, like say I got Tony's email address, and I just blow them up with emails. I mean, it could be anything. It could be you won this, you did this, or just subscriptions to this, and I just find a way to get him on all these lists, and his email box just gets full. So then what I would do as the malicious attacker is I would call Tony, and he's an overwhelmed worker, right? So I just call him, I'm like, hello, sir, I see that you're having problems with your email. Is there something I can help with? And then at that point, that's when the attacker gets leveraged because they're going to help that person out, and then that person is going to get social engineered into letting them in on their computer, and that's where the attack happens. But what's that twist, Tony?
Yeah, so the twist here is that they're overloading them with emails from, like it's coming from an IT service provider, like a help desk or service desk. So they're sending a whole bunch of emails saying, hey, you got this problem, you're getting bombarded with emails, and then they follow up with a call and they pretend to be an IT support person. And then the next twist is they use Microsoft Teams. So they do a Teams meeting with them, and then they get into screen sharing, and they basically click on some links and release malware, and they're done.
And away we go.
So,
and that's the big thing about Teams, too, is that it's so trusted now. So if someone sends you, like, hey, I'm your IT support help desk. Let me get you a Teams invite, and we'll get going. It feels safe. It feels right because everyone's using it, right? I know there's some tips of what we can do to prevent it or to identify who's doing it. I don't know if you want to take us through a few of those, Tony.
Yeah, so if you're a customer of Unique Computing Solutions, right? We provide IT support to businesses, all over Chicagoland area. We're never going to bombard you with emails about, about a help desk or a problem. I mean, if it's a serious problem, we're going to try to reach you by telephone. But we're also, if it's a real serious problem, when we do email and you don't get it, and we try to reach you by telephone, then we're going to call your boss or your supervisor. So, you don't ever let anybody on your computer. I mean, you need to know who you're dealing with. You don't take a phone call from somebody and let them on your computer unless you absolutely know who you're dealing with. Any sense of urgency inside of an email. I mean, when there's a sense of urgency, that's the red flag right there. Sense of urgency, multiple emails, then followed up with a phone call, and don't fall for it. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
That's the hardest thing, and it's just, any IT provider or IT support desk should have ways to make sure you verify it's them. And like Tony said, we'll call, you usually know us, we deal with smaller businesses, but, we also assign a ticket number to everything that we're working on. So we'll be able to reference that ticket number. You could write it down, hang up on one of our texts, and call our support desk, which is a known number, and give them that ticket number. And they'll be like, oh, yeah. You were talking with so-and-so. I'll get you right back over to them and verify that way.
Yeah, and Teams meetings are going to be scheduled, right? If I'm going to do a Teams meeting with you so you can show your screen, we're going to schedule it, right? We're going to meet in the center. We're not going to be calling you and most help desk people, we're not going to be calling you. I mean, we can get on your computer. We can see what's happening on it while you're using it. So it's just a crazy thing, and people fall for it.
And that's a good one, too, you brought up, too, Tony, is the sense of urgency. I mean, any IT support person is not going to call you and just, be freaking out with you. We're just going to help you get through the problem that you're having and not make it urgent that you need to have a Teams meeting now and that you need to pay for something now or get something, load this on your computer now to get it going, just all those important things.
Yep. So I guess the whole thing of this, what they call in the Black Basta or whatever, is you're getting a bunch of emails. right? Then it's followed up with a phone call to ask you to do a meeting, right? And then they do a remote exploit through Teams, and then they deploy the malware, and then you'll never hear from them again until you're ready to pay the ransom. So you just have to be smart about what's going on.
Yeah, and that Tony kind of already said it, but that does lead into our tip of the week, which is know who you're letting in on your computer. Your IT support company should have already told you how they access your computer. Like when we log in on a computer, it'll pop up in the bottom right, says Ryan Carter is now controlling your computer, so you know it was me with your your support company. There's just multiple ways to verify that. And again, like I said, we always have a ticket number attached to it, and usually our techs are well known, and someone's going to know who's contacting them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a very clever attack, and just be aware of it. I think we also blasted out emails to everybody, all of our people in our ecosystem, to be aware of this type of attack. And now we just decided to talk a little bit about it in our podcast for other people out there that might have seen this.
Yeah, it's starting to get hot. It's one that's getting real popular right now, especially with the Teams edge to it, because it's an old school attack, but adding the Teams piece of it, and then obviously now you've got AI where they can pretend you're other people and stuff like that, which we've talked about in other podcasts. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good on that one.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Business Owners IT Podcast, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week where we might have something other than tables. I don't know. We just switch it up when we can.
Unique computing solutions. Your IT challenges solved.